Hello, everyone. Just a quick check from my colleagues. I need an okay that you can hear me and you can see me. Yeah, all good. Great, so we can begin. Let me introduce myself. My name is Laima. I'm NARBUTAS brand ambassador. And I want to give you a very warm welcome to We Talk webinar series. It is our first time going live, so bear in mind this is a live streaming, and we are now in our office in Vilnius, where we have our headquarters. Maybe some of you already visited. Those that haven't, you're welcome to do so. I also want to use the chance and ask you to tell us where you are now, in which city. If you want, you can share that in the comments. That will be very interesting to see. Okay, so today's star is the silent room. Here you can see it in the back. Are we all good? Yeah? Okay, great. So here you can see some of them in the back. And the reason why we talk about the silent room is because it's becoming a bestseller. Out of all the big range of office furniture that we have, silent room is now becoming a winner. And of course, with that comes a lot of questions. It's not a simple product, and we want to cover those today. Without further ado, let me introduce you to my colleague, Iveta. She's our training specialist. And if you come to visit us in the factory in Ukmergė, an hour away from here, you will definitely get to know her, and she will be a tour guide. So without further ado, let me go and say hello to Iveta.
Hi, hello.
Hi, Iveta. How are you today?
I'm good. It's an exciting experience to be in this webinar series.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining. I will just use a chance to mention that we have here 250 employees.
Yes.
And how many silent rooms?
I would say about 25, and the number keeps growing.
Yes, because it's really a big need. So when it comes to silent room, one of the first questions we get is, how do I pick the right one for my office? Supernatural, right?
You're right.
Probably you have that question.
Definitely. And a lot of the times the major factor is the size, but I would say the situation in which you will use the silent room is even more important. So here we have our workstations in our own office, as Laima explained, and one of the most popular scenarios is the phone call. So for that to work seamlessly, I would say place the silent room about a few steps of the way from the workstations so that your employees can go and have their conversations in private. Should we go and see?
Yeah, sure. So it has to be quick. You can pick up the phone.
Definitely. And as you can see, we arrived in really a few steps. So Laima will now go into the silent room as size and
join me, please.
Definitely, she can have her phone conversations. She can have her meeting with a colleague that's working remotely, or maybe if she needs to concentrate on a task, she can also do so. And she just connected her phone to the charger. Not mentioning the electrical outlet, all of our chargers are A-type and C-type, and they are also fast charging.
Yes, that's very important. That's what many people say, that it's not just a simple charger, it's actually a fast one. And important to say that we are international and we have all the plugs. So in UK, in US, and all the other ones, France,
Definitely.
Switzerland, and European one.
All of our electrical solutions are at US as well.
Great. So this is for an individual use. What happens if we have one-on-one meetings? Those happens a lot.
Our one-on-one meetings are best suited to have in the M size, I would say, and we have it just next door coincidentally. So I suggest we both step inside this time.
Sure.
The seating this time is a little bit different. We see the low poofs here. Maybe our meeting is taking quite longer. For that, we can be comfortable here. We also now have a screen. The screen is available in both M size, L size, and XL size. And you know, you can connect, as I said, with your colleague, or just present something or rehearse as well.
That's great. I want to also pinpoint, if you want to have a look, here we have an option of the floor level, and this is especially appreciated by architects and designers.
Yes, so we do have two options, as Laima noticed with her eyes, the lower version with the carpet, and as well a normal floor is available upon request.
Yes. So going to other questions that we get a lot. If you want to get a silent room for your office, you naturally think, will it fit my office? How much space do I need? And those kind of practical questions.
I suggest we leave now because we would like to see the outside definitely. So our clients are definitely placed in a lot of cities around the world. So imagine Barcelona, Italy, Paris, low ceilings, small boutique offices, you don't have a lot of space. So the S size and the M size are the most optimal in that case. And what we do have as well here is that you can place them right next to the wall with no gap at all, or only a little gap for the electrical solutions. Speaking about ceiling height, this time we do have more height, but as I said, if the ceilings are low, only 30 centimeters of height is required to assemble the ceiling on location. So naturally about 2.5 meters, which is quite standard.
Okay, that's great. So just to sum up, you can place it next to the wall, yes, and you don't need that much ceiling space. So that is not a problem. And also here you can see what we have in our office. We place them one next to the other, so that way you can save space. But of course, that's not the only way. You can also have it in the middle of your office, like this one here.
Yes. So here we have the L size, and for a long time, the L size was the largest size in our portfolio. 4 or 5 person meetings are really the most popular, we feel. So that's the optimal situation here as well. I suggest we go inside too.
Yeah, sure. Join us.
And while our colleagues are joining us, here we are now with the higher version, which is probably the most popular used in our portfolio, but really we can also choose to have a standardized table, maybe don't have a table at all, and opt for a lounge type seating. We did do that recently in one of our showrooms. We installed the XL size with lounge seating, with poofs, to have a more informal type of meeting room.
Well, actually, I can tell you that that's in our newest showroom in Paris. It received a lot of love and investment. If you happen to be in Paris, do visit. And that's the one where you said they have a different interior. You really can put anything inside here. It's up to your imagination.
Yes. And the colors as well are up to your imagination. As you can see, even as we're walking through the office today, the colors keep changing. Our upholstery range really offers a broad selection of colors. You can have branded colors for your own office that can decorate the internal walls and also the external walls too.
Great. So another natural question that might sound silly, but we do get those. When I get in, do I need to turn the light on, off? What do I do?
Yes. So the ceiling has a motion sensor installed. It knows when we are entering the space and switches the light on. If we are leaving the space, we start the refresh mode. A lot of fresh air is being pumped in, and really to drive out all that stuffy air. So for the next meeting, the air is clean, sharp, and crisp. As well, the lights are switched off. So in that sense, it's quite an energy-saving product, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe let's appreciate it more from the outside.
I did mention for the outside, you can have, of course, the hard surface interior like we have on the facade here. But if we look on the side, we are installing the soft panels here. Another added feature is that those panels can add to your acoustic comfort in the office space.
Beautiful. So I think on that note, we're going to say thank you to Iveta for now.
Thank you, guys.
She will join us later. She will actually check if you have some questions for us. Because as you can see, you can ask questions. I don't see who's connected, but I can feel the energy of the world. So please do ask if you have any questions or anything that we don't cover. Okay, so now we saw 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. And we have the extra large. That is our latest addition. And there I will meet our acoustic product expert, Daniel. He's an expert. He's been working on this for 5 years now, so he can answer everything we need to know about acoustics. And let me join him inside. Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Laima.
How are you today?
Doing good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're very happy to have you. So Daniel, I was mentioning that you've been working on this product 5 years.
Almost 5 years, yes. And I'm really proud of working here, and I'm proud of our product.
That's great. Well, there's a lot to be proud, because it's true that it's becoming a bestseller, and the extra large has been a latest addition. So here we can fit 8 people. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. So all the parameters and all the solutions were designed for 8 people, but of course you can have a smaller meeting, and if you have a short meeting, you could have a more people, like 10 people. So,
or if you are a big person, you can just use all the space for
yeah, definitely. I love to take a whole room for myself.
See, that's okay. So when you have 8 people or even less, naturally you would think, will there be enough air in the room? Iveta mentioned a little bit about the ventilation, but maybe you can tell us more when it comes to air.
Yeah, definitely. So although sound insulation is the most important thing for such product, but you have to think about ventilation as well, right? With even good sound insulation, if it's hot, stuffy, and there's no air to breathe, nobody will want to work in such a room, right? So ventilation is quite important, and I think we managed to solve everything really nice. So everything is hidden. You can see all the slots only for the air supply. No,
you can't see it. You can only feel it.
Yeah. So that was the point, just to make it seamless, right? So we just enter and you have fresh air without anything distracting you, right? So you don't see any fans, you don't see any movement, right? So just fresh air, and I think you can feel it, right? Just standing, working.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
Coming.
And of course, naturally, because rooms tend to get hot, right? People are generating heat, so we have to remove all the heat, right? So the air volume designed for this room is really big, right? So with the air volume we're supplying to this room, we could ventilate a 300 square meters apartment or house, right? So it's really huge amounts of air.
300 square meters apartment, house.
Or house,
That's
yeah.
a big one. Wow, those are interesting numbers. And can you show us the control panel, or how do you set it up?
Yeah, so as I've mentioned, all ventilation is seamless, and you've talked with Iveta that you don't have to turn anything on or off, right? So what we, of course, done, that we wanted to make everything seamless, but also possible for users to configure it, right? So every user wants to have, or every office wants to have individual settings, right? So what we managed to do is to offer users possibility to adjust everything.
They can do what they need for their office, right?
Yeah, definitely. So if we just look a bit down, right?
Closer.
We have a control box, which you can connect to with your internet, with your computer, with a cable right here, and you can change every setting that is available here in the control box. So, right, how long does it ventilate? What intensity of ventilation? How long everything works, right? So if you if you want to have a normal ventilation, right? If you feel that the ventilation is not enough, you can change it and just forget about all the controls.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for that. So going back to basics when it comes to acoustics, we have participated in a lot of exhibitions, and we have lots of stands. And the main thing that people do when they see a silent room, because not everyone has those in the office still. So what they do is like, oh, let me get in and my colleague wait outside and see, can you hear me? If I have like a passionate discussion, can you hear in or out? So this is still one of the main questions, I think, when it comes to silent rooms.
Yeah, definitely. And as we talked, sound insulation is the most important aspect of this product, right? So it's normal to see people try it and see whether it works actually, and whether you have sound insulation, of course. So, well, if you have a passionate discussion or you're having a bad day and you shout on your phone, so most likely your colleagues will hear you, right? But if you have a normal meeting, normal phone call, and you want some privacy, definitely it will be sufficient to block all your private conversation from the outside. And of course, you won't hear any conversation coming from the office inside, right? So you have privacy for you and some comfort for your colleagues where you don't distract. I think everyone hates when one of your colleagues on the phone talking next to you, right?
That's the worst. I personally cannot imagine my day-to-day office life without a silent room. We have them constantly booked. We have an app where you can book it, and it's like going non-stop.
Yeah,
say.
definitely. Now it's almost a battle to get the silent room for you to work right.
Exactly. So talking about the testing part of it, or let's say, how do you know when a product like this, which is quite a complex and an acoustic solution, is ready, is good enough, is successful? Do you have some kind of like measurement?
Yeah, so right now there is a new standard, ISO standard, which is described or which was made especially for acoustic booths, right? Previously, every pod had different measurements, and the values of acoustic evaluation were all over the place. You could have 20 decibels, someone could boast about 50 decibels, right? So it was not the same, right? With
and
this,
you could invent their own kind of?
well, it was not as invent, but you know, you take a standard which is for measurement of this sound insulation, but it's not for the booth, right? Because we're measuring whole booth as a finite and as a final product, right? So that's important to measure according to standard and to compare measurements according to standards, because sound insulation for people is subjective, right? So for some, sound insulation can be really low and he will be happy about this. For some clients, you know, you have good hearing, so you hear and you want a better sound insulation. So just telling that, well, we have a good sound insulation is not enough now.
Yes, that makes sense. Great. And when can you tell us a little bit about the future of this product? Because I know there's a constant development. You're working hard and taking all the feedback in and trying to make this a good product, right? And that comes with a lot of challenges as well, I can imagine.
Oh yeah, the challenges we had. So actually talking about those challenges, as I mentioned, no, sound insulation is one thing, right? Most important. And
yeah.
And funny thing is, our engineers made a room with a, let's say, almost full soundproof, but it was so uncomfortable because, you know, you had no sound coming in, no sound going out. So it was just a lot of discomfort, right? But anyways, so if we just looking for good insulation, it's easy, right? If we're looking only for good ventilation, it's easy, right?
Yes.
To have a good design, well, it's tricky, but it's doable, right? But the challenge is to combine and balance all the things, right? So we have to have a good sound insulation with a good ventilation, right? Ventilation comes from the outside, so we have to have air ducts or some kind of entrance for the air. Air cannot pass through the windows, right? Or through the walls, right? So you have to have some space. And throughout that space, air comes in, but the sound goes out, right? So you have to balance everything. Of course, it has to look good, right? Nobody wants just a wooden crate look like or a wardrobe sitting somewhere in your office, right? Of course, it has to be comfortable to use, right? You have there are a few things, and of course, sometimes not for the end user, but for people who are working in this industry, assembly times are important, right? So you have to quick and easy assembly. So to balance all the things I've mentioned, that's the tricky part.
Yeah. So you have design, acoustics, sound. As insulation, that's like acoustics, right?
Almost, yeah. That's another topic here.
Design.
Yeah.
True. Like people are picky nowadays because you have to have an office that looks good.
And of course, it has to look good, but everyone is really, as you mentioned, picky. And we offer a lot of customization, right? So you can adjust the silent booth to your needs. That's
right. Okay, amazing. So I think we're good on time, and I would love to invite Iveta over to us back. She's just there behind the camera. Hi, maybe we have some questions from the audience. And how are we in terms of time? Just so
we're fine in terms of time. Maybe starting not from the questions, but since Laima did ask about the countries and the cities, I'm really happy to announce that people from all around the world have joined us, even as far as Argentina.
Oh, we want to be in Argentina having that wine. No, I'm joking.
And in terms of questions, we did receive a couple. I took the liberty and answered already about the sprinklers in the chat. But Thomas asked, what about the sprinklers?
Yeah, so with the fire safety, it's a bit tricky part because each country has their own standards or regulation and requirements. what we've done, that we've made a silent room easy to implement the sprinkler system. So we have the own instruction on how to do it, of the recommendation. So you simply, let's say, take the sprinkler system already in the building, and you can merge it with the silent room, install it basically.
And we do have instructions how to install them available on our webpage with the technical documents as well. A lot of the other questions are similar about the decibels and about the measurements that we do, which Daniel already explained. However, how loud is the ventilation was another question that we might touch on the subject.
So I think Laima can attest to this, that you cannot hear fans inside of the silent room, right? It's quiet.
It's really quiet, but yet powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Actually test it out.
Yeah. So here you, we haven't showed this actually. Have a look closer. So with here, this is going the max, and I don't think you can hear it. I'm with the microphone, so you probably can only hear me. But yeah, it's a very easy and smooth system, so you can easily control the ventilation, and the same with the lights.
And maybe just the last question, since we are now rushing. Sure. Which acoustic class do the pods have?
Right now, our acoustic pods are rated Class C.
Class C.
According to the...
C, beautiful.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And then any other questions, we will see them in the chat, and we can actually answer them directly to you as well. I will just mention again that our webpage is full of useful information. You can also contact your local business managers from NARBUTAS International. You can contact Laima on LinkedIn directly, and we are sure to get in touch with you.
Great. So I want to thank you both for joining me today. It was a pleasure. It's our first time doing such a webinar. So I hope you enjoy. We're going to do much more every 2-3 months. We're going to release different topics. Now it's silent room. We'll see what's coming next. Maybe it will be another acoustic product.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Great.
So again, there's never enough to say thank you all for joining us from all around the world, even Argentina. So please do follow us on social media so we can keep you posted about our future events. I can mention a few. Just recently, we were in Paris Design Week, and we opened a beautiful showroom, as I said before. So if you happen to be in that elegant city, do visit. Then we're going to be next week. I'm flying myself to Valencia. Very happy to go there. And we will be in Valencia Design Week as well. And then we're going to have Amsterdam in October at Workspace Design Show. I think that is it, if I haven't forgot any of our events. If I did, then just we'll keep you posted for sure. Thank you so much, and we'll hope to see you for the next ones. Bye-bye.